This is round 2 of my audio. I have a new microphone, and so I posted this early this morning, and I thought I would try it again. And I'm so sorry for the audio issues. Like I said, I am so not tech savvy, so hopefully this fixed the problem. Today I'm going to be making a card using the Hero Arts. This is the Holiday Badges stamp set. It was actually an add-on from the December My Monthly Hero Kit. So fun. Now, not only great is it for tags, but it's great for card making too. And I liked it because of the circles and the squares. I thought the squares would be easy to cut out, but also I have a set of circle dies that would probably cut out each of those as well. So that's why I invested and got the stamp set. I thought it'd be really fun to create 3 cards today using it. Now for my focal point, I did pick up this. This is a fancy Snowflake die. And it is a Snowflake tag die from Hero Arts. It's also an add-on, so we're going to use that as well. Now we're going to jump in with our first card, and I have a piece of green vellum here. Now this green vellum, I thought cutting out the snowflake in it would be really pretty, and so I cut it out, and you can see how the solid area of the snowflake is, and I really love that about it because you could use it for sentiments and without losing the effect of the snowflake. So we're going to take the sentiment for the first card. This one says Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'm going to stamp this on some white cardstock with my Versamark or VersaFine ink. And then once we have that done, I'm going to grab my set of circle dies here. And we're going to find one that will fit this one and cut that out. These circle dies that I have are from Cottage Cuts, and I like them because of the stitched edging around it. So that turned out really pretty. That's going to be my sentiment, and it should fit right in the center of that snowflake there. Love that. Okay. Now once we have that done, I have a piece of white cardstock here, and then I'm going to grab my rectangle dies. These also have a stitch edging. These dies are actually from the Stamps of Life. They come 9 in a pack, and I'll try and remember to leave a link below to where you can check these out. I have a lot of inquiries about these, but it leaves a nice wide stitch. I'm also going to grab, this is a C&CT embossing folder, and I've been pulling out my embossing folders lately. I've ignored them for a while, so I thought it'd be fun to create a card using my embossing folder. This is the Elegant Swirls embossing folder. I embossed that, and then I have a piece of silver glitter paper here. I'm going to place a strip of this right in the center just using my tape runner, and then I'm going to trim off any of the excess. Now for an added touch, I have some green twine that coordinates with my snowflake. I'm using a piece of double-sided sticky tape, and I'm just going to place that on the back and then wrap this twine around that silver area 4 times. I think twine, not only it will add a splash of color to your card, but I think it adds a nice touch of dimension. So we're just going to trim that down and straighten out our little twine. Okay. Now we're going to flip over our sentiment and pop it up with some dimensional adhesive, and we're going to place that on the snowflake. These cards that I'm making today are very, very simple, but I think the outcome turns out really pretty. Now, there's an extra ring around my sentiment, so I thought I'd color that in using my alcohol marker. This is CG1. It's a Spectrum Noir alcohol marker. It's a real pretty green, so that I think it's going to add a little bit of color to my sentiment. And then for a little bit of shimmer, I have a Jelly Roll Stardust pen. It's a very concentrated glitter pen, so I'm just going to go on top of the green area that I colored in with my shimmer pen. That way my tag has a nice little sparkle to it. I do want to apologize for my last video. I was having huge problems with my audio, and I was hoping that I had fixed it. I'm hoping, let me know, please, 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 because on my end, on my iPad and my tablet, everything was okay. I didn't realize that I was having an audio problem until later on. So please let me know. And I do appreciate those of you who did let me know. I can't fix it if I don't know what's broken. Anyway, for my card base for this, I'm using an A2 size green card base. It's top folding card base. And I just placed my panel in the center of that. And I did pop it up with dimensional adhesive. So that's card number 1. Now for card number 2, we're going to use that same snowflake die and cut out a piece of regular white vellum this time. And then I'm also going to stamp my sentiment. The sentiment for this one says Merry Christmas. And for all 3 cards today, I'm just using the circle badges that are in the stamp set. I'm using my anti-static powder tool and some Versamark ink. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment. And then using a piece of scratch paper here, I'm going to use some classic gold embossing powder from Nuvo. And here you can see I messed up. I was heavy-handed. So I'm just going to rub it off, flip my little white cardstock over, and I'm going to try stamping it again. Usually the second time's a charm, so it worked out better the second time. Let's try this one more time. Grab my scratch paper, my embossing powder, and it worked out just fine. I'm going ahead and melt that, and I love the gold in the sentiment. Okay. I did decide to color in that little Christmas tree with the same color I used in the first card. It's the CG1. It's a green marker, and then also dotted a little bit of shimmer on my Christmas tree in the center there with my Stardust pen. So that'll be my sentiment. I'm going to try and find a die that will fit this one. It was a little bit large, but I really didn't mind it because of the stitched edging around it. I think it created a real pretty sentiment. Okay. Now I'm going to use that same embossing folder, and I cut out a panel. This panel will be slightly smaller than my card base. You can see here. I'm going to put that, I was going to put it in there, but then decided I'm going to cut out a large circle in this panel. I wanted to do something a little bit different for this card. This circle should fit my snowflake perfectly, so I'm just going to run that through my die cut machine. And then I'll take that panel and run it through my embossing folder. Okay, now I'm going to create about a 3¼ inch gap in the middle of this panel. So I'm taking my paper trimmer and I'm going to measure at 2¼ on one end, and then on the other side do the same thing at 2¼ That way I have a circle that has a strip basically cut out from it. Now I didn't know what was going to happen when I did this, so I grabbed my honey gold glitter drops, and I want to embellish the snowflake with some glitter. So I'm just going around the edge of the snowflake, and I really love the outcome of this because the vellum and then the glitter, when it just dried really soft and pretty. But I just went around the edges, and we're going to let that dry. You can see it kind of starting to curl up a little bit, so I'm just going to take my glitter drop bottle and place it right in the center of that while that dries. For my card base for this card, I'm using Nina Desert Storm 100-pound cardstock. It's a craft cardstock, and I love this stuff. I'm going to pop up each of these panels. We're going to put this one on the bottom, and then we're going to put the other one on the top. And you can see here where I still have my circle, but I have that area in the middle there. I'm just checking on my snowflake, making sure it's not curling up too bad. Okay, now I'm taking some gold and white baker's twine. It's real pretty. It has real pretty gold weaved in it, and then some double-sided tape. I'm going to place a little piece in the center of my circle, and then attach the end of my twine, or my baker's twine, and then I'm going to wrap it around 3 times, and then secure it the end in the middle there. That we have a little bit of gold in here. And then I'll take another piece of tape and put it over the top just to keep it secure so it doesn't go nowhere. Okay. Now my snowflake is just about dried. And you can see it did curl up a little bit, but I kind of like that. I think it turned out neat because it just adds dimension. So I'm going to add my sentiment with some dimensional adhesive and put that right in the center. It's almost like a transparent snowflake, and I think the effect that this was really pretty. Okay, flip that over and add some more. And then we're just going to take the snowflake and put it right in the center of our circle, covering that double-sided tape there. Lovely. Okay, now for added touch, I'm taking a white gel pen and I'm going to do some faux stitching right around the edge of the circle just to make it stand out a little bit more. And that's it. That's my card number 2. Very simple and easy, but I think it really is beautiful. Okay, now I cut out a panel. This panel is again the same size as the last one, and then I went ahead and embossed it with my same embossing folder. Now I wanted to do I want to take my scissors and go around the embossed swirls and cut out an edging on it, just using the lifted up area of the swirls as a guide. I'm just going to go at a diagonal and go all the way to the top. I think this is going to add a little bit of interest to my card. And then I'm going in with some silver moon dust glitter drops, and I'm going to very lightly go over the top of each of those raised swirls on this panel. I think this is going to add a lot of shimmer and shine, and so I thought this would be really pretty. The sentiment for this card, I'm going to be using the one that says wishing you a shining holiday, I believe. But I think the outcome of this just turns so pretty. We're going to let that dry. Then we're going to cut out our snowflake. We're going to stamp our sentiment. Sorry. It says, wishing you a sparkling holiday. I thought that was so pretty. I'm using my anti-static powder tool on a piece of white cardstock. And again, for this card, we're going to go with silver. So I'm taking some classic silver embossing powder from Nouveau. We're going to go over the top of that, and we're just going to heat set that. Lovely. Okay. Take our circle die, and this one actually fit it really perfectly. And then while I'm using my my Big Shot, I'm going to go ahead and cut out my snowflake. I'm going to use the same silver glitter paper that I used for card number 1 and just cut out my snowflake with that. So there's our sentiment. There's our pretty little snowflake. Okay, we're going to pop up our panel, place it right in the center of our glitter snowflake. And then this is dry already. Since I did do a real thin line, it dried pretty fast. So I think that looks really nice. For this card, I'm using a white card base. And I'm going to add some foam tape behind this panel here. We're going to lift this up a little bit for a little bit of dimension. And that's going to go on our card base here. I just love that effect. Okay, we're going to pop up our snowflake, and we're going to place that directly in the center of our card base here. Lovely. Okay, now we need a little shimmer, so I'm using my Stardust pen, and in the sentiment there's some little stars. I'm just going to fill it in with a little bit of glitter. And then for a little bit of shimmer and shine, I have these sparkling clear sequins from Pretty Pink Posh. They're 3mm and they look like diamonds. I've said it before, but I think they're so pretty and nice and sparkly. So we're going to add some sequins. And I think that will complete that card. Very simple and easy card, but I think anyone or any recipient would be happy to receive them. I think they turned out real pretty. Here's a quick look at all 3 cards I made today. Very simple and easy to create. One, and then there we go. And I wanted to show you too that if you don't have the stamp set or wish not to purchase it, any kind of Christmas circle element would work for this. And then also any large snowflake that you have, these cards would be easy to recreate with. So I just wanted to share that with you too. I will leave links below to where you can check out the stamp set and the Snowflake in case you're interested in a few of the other supplies. I wish you a fantastic day, and thanks for putting up with my volume issues, guys. We will see you again really soon. Let me know if you can hear this, okay? And we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.